The worst thing to do is follow Brad Woodside at a conference and to be between you and your lunch. So I'm going to talk about Canada and Waterloo, and I think what I need to talk about is the elephant in the room to me, and that's about RIM and about what's happening to RIM and how the Canadian media is really taking a hard knock against RIM, which is one of our leading Canadian technology companies, and why we as Canadians, and I think that's kind of been the theme of some of our opening speeches, is why as Canada we tend to step back and be quiet. And as Brad says, we've got to step up. We were leaders. We will be leaders again, because there's a determined group in Canada, through Barry, through Bill, through Brad, myself, through Dan, through mayors across Canada, that are saying it's time we've got to step up. And I look at John Young and his leadership through ICF. Waterloo won the Intelligent Community of the Year award in 2007. And as a city, we've been involved with ICF for many, many years, and I'm chair of the alumni of Intelligent Communities globally. I believe in this. Brad believes in this. I know Dan believes in this, and I know other mayors across Canada do. But I want to reassure everyone in this room that mayors are collaborating, and we are doing it at our level. And there's a friendship, such a strong friendship between us. And the three of us, and excuse me, Mary, I know we haven't worked together, but the three of us have been at various conferences, speaking to mayors, encouraging mayors to get involved as intelligent communities. And it's really a pleasure to be with Brad and Dan again, to be talking to you as a group. What's driving me crazy is the lack of attention to our Canadian technology companies already in existence. And I've kind of taken a bold step as a mayor and spoken to Jim Flaherty and sent messages through my member of Parliament to the Prime Minister saying that, every Canadian politician should be pulling out their BlackBerry and saying, I support Canadian technology, and we're not doing that. Mr. Flaherty was quite flustered and said, well, I have two, and I said, show us that. He was speaking in Waterloo, and he did. Everybody cheered him on. I think about how Barack Obama is known for using a BlackBerry, but we don't know. Does our Prime Minister use one? We assume so, but I don't see him standing there saying, I support Canadian technology. But what also is driving me crazy is that we have one of the leading ICT inventors in the world. His name's Mike Lazaridis. He invented the smartphones. He started BlackBerry and RIM. Do you ever see his picture? It wasn't up here. We saw the other gentleman. We see IBM and Apple. Where is RIM? And as Canadians, let's start asking ourselves that question. Why do we not talk about Mike Lazaridis as the inventor of the smartphone and one of the leading entrepreneurial giants for ICT in Canada? Let's take pride in that leadership. So what about Waterloo? Waterloo is an amazing community. I'm very proud to be the mayor of this community, especially at this time. And we talked this morning about the importance of social media and having a global strategy, a global outreach. Waterloo's doing that. We talked about having a China strategy. Waterloo has a China strategy. And as a city, we are now taking bigger risks. We are boldly going out into the global community and saying, Waterloo is here. We have two incredible universities. We have leading technology institutions, and we are here to put our place in the world, and we want your business, and we want you to come here. Our global outreach is quite interesting. I've signed a friendship agreement with the city of Chongqing, China. They contacted me about 3 years ago. Anybody heard of Chongqing? So the majority haven't. Chongqing, I hadn't heard of, is the largest city in the world, 33 million people in China. They sent me an email and said, do you want to be friends? I said, oh my gosh, who are you? I've never even heard of you. And of course we're friends. I've been several times. We've had friendship agreements signed. We have a City of Waterloo garden in one of their largest gardens, and we are establishing relations between our academic and business sector and municipal sector with the city of Chongqing. They have sent their senior managers to work with the senior managers at Waterloo. And when you think about what their managers are managing on a regular basis compared to Waterloo, a city of 125,000 people, it's astonishing. But the needs are all the same: social, economic, cultural, environmental. It's all basically the same needs regardless of scale of size. We are also involved in doing a lot of outreach and global outreach through the leadership of John Young and Canada's Technology Triangle, which is a region of Waterloo's economic development agency. John has gotten our community engaged on a global scale, and we have gone to China, to Brazil, to Germany, and on Thursday I'm leaving to go to India to take a group of our academic and business leaders throughout China, or India, for 2 weeks. And we're telling India, we want your business, and we want to look at opportunities with you. Mike Lazaridis has recently coined Waterloo and is calling us now Quantum Valley because he, as well as University of Waterloo and the federal and provincial governments, have provided funding to open up the Quantum Nano Center at UW, the only facility of its kind in the world. It's breathtaking. Stephen Hawking was there for the opening. Fantastic. We have the Perimeter Institute, which is the only facility of its kind globally for the study of theoretical physics. That's why Stephen Hawking was there. It is doubled in size. We are being known throughout the world as a community of ideas, of big thinkers, a place where you want to come if you're looking at global think tanks. We also have the Center for International Governance Innovation, which was a center that was established with a lot of support from Jim Balsley, co-founder of RIM. So we have a lot going on in Waterloo. We have 50,000 university students. So we need to be a city that's dynamic and on the edge and pushing ourselves forward on all levels so that we can keep and retain this knowledge workforce. As a city, our council is totally engaged in economic development and job creation. We are going globally to look for those opportunities, but we have a vision of creating a community where people want to live and stay and where young people want to stay. But we also are focusing on what is happening to cities globally, and that's an aging community. And the city has it received this age-friendly community recognition from the World Health Organization. We are the 42nd city in the world to have received this recognition on the work we are doing as an age-friendly community, and we have an active committee that's looking at the city as on a high level of how do we create a city for seniors and making sure that our seniors are engaged. But what I really think is important is that we have a social media strategy, and Gary Williams, our Director of Communications, is here. We have been one of the first municipalities to have a Twitter Town Hall budget committee, and we used social media through Twitter and Facebook and just online to get people engaged in talking about our budget, because most of our citizens don't really care, but they complain to us all the time. Can you imagine that? Unbelievable.
Go figure.
Go figure. We also are going to be using social media on a wider stage, and I know Gary is taking us there. But for me, I want to share with you, I've created a Weibo account, which is Chinese social media. And I'm the only first Canadian mayor to have a Weibo account, and I have 13,600 followers in China and across the globe. And we talk about Waterloo and Waterloo region every day. We're blogging, we're posting, we're letting people know about us. And believe me, the outreach is phenomenal. I've been asked to partner with 2 other cities in China. Again, never heard of them, but they're massive. And we're looking at how do we promote not only Waterloo region, Ontario, but Canada. And I really applaud having the Premier of New Brunswick here. I wish the Premier of Ontario was here, but we don't know what's happening with that right now. That's kind of an interesting situation. But the mayors are working hard on behalf of the community, and Canadian mayors are taking us globally, and I'm proud to be a Canadian mayor. Thank you. 1 second left.